You're about to spend a lot of money on the wrong repair, and it usually starts exactly like this. You're cruising down the highway in your Toyota or Lexus. Everything feels smooth, the engine is quiet, and for a moment, it feels like nothing could go wrong. Then suddenly your dashboard lights up. The check engine light comes on, and in many cases, you also see check VSC or track off. Just like that, your normal drive turns into a situation you can't ignore. You pull over, grab your scan tool, plug it in, and the code shows up P0430. At first glance, it looks simple, but this is one of those problems that can easily cost you a lot of money if you don't understand what's really going on. If you want to avoid wasting money on the wrong parts and actually diagnose problems the right way, make sure you hit subscribe. On this channel, we break down real car issues step by step, so you can fix it once and fix it right. Now, most people see this code and immediately think the catalytic converter is bad. That's the common assumption, and it's also the reason many car owners end up wasting money. They replace the converter, clear the code, and everything seems fine, until a few weeks or months later when the same code comes right back. That's because P0430 is not always telling you that the converter itself is the original problem. In many cases, it's just reporting the final result of something else that has already been going wrong in the engine for a while. To understand this properly, you need to know what the catalytic converter actually does. Inside that metal housing under your car is a ceramic honeycomb structure. This honeycomb is coated with precious metals like platinum, palladium, and rhodium. These metals don't get used up like fuel. Instead, they help trigger chemical reactions. As exhaust gases pass through, harmful emissions like carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and nitrogen oxides are converted into less harmful gases like carbon dioxide and water vapor. But for all of this to work, the converter needs to be extremely hot, usually above 1000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's why it's placed close to the engine, so it heats up quickly and starts working as soon as possible. Your car's computer doesn't just assume the converter is working correctly, it constantly monitors it using sensors. There are two main sensors involved in this process. The first one is located before the converter, and this is your air-fuel ratio sensor. It measures how rich or lean the engine is running and sends that information to the computer so adjustments can be made in real time. The second sensor is located after the converter, and its job is to monitor the exhaust gases after they have passed through the converter. In a healthy system, the upstream sensor is always changing because the engine is constantly adjusting the fuel mixture. But the downstream sensor should be relatively stable. This is because the catalytic converter acts like a buffer, smoothing out the fluctuations in the exhaust gases. When the converter is working properly, the downstream sensor signal remains steady. However, when the converter starts to fail, it loses this ability. The downstream sensor begins to mimic the behavior of the upstream sensor, switching rapidly instead of staying stable. When the engine control module detects this pattern, it determines that the converter is no longer efficient and sets the P0430 code. Now, one important thing you need to get right is identifying bank 2. This is where a lot of mistakes happen. In any engine, bank 1 is the side that contains cylinder number 1. Bank 2 is simply the opposite side. On Toyota and Lexus vehicles with V6 or V8 engines, this distinction matters because each bank has its own catalytic converter. In rear-wheel drive vehicles like the Toyota Tundra or 4Runner, bank 2 is typically on the driver's side. In front-wheel drive vehicles like the Camry or RX 350, where the engine is mounted sideways, bank 2 is usually the front side of the engine, closer to the radiator. Getting this wrong can lead to replacing the wrong part, which is an expensive mistake. When it comes to symptoms, sometimes the only sign you'll notice is the check engine light. But in many cases, the car gives you additional clues. You might notice a rotten egg smell coming from the exhaust, which is caused by sulfur that isn't being properly processed. You might also feel a loss of power, especially when accelerating, which can happen if the converter is clogged and restricting exhaust flow. In some cases, you may hear a rattling noise from underneath the car, indicating that the internal structure of the converter has broken apart. And as mentioned earlier, Toyota and Lexus vehicles often disable systems like traction control and stability control when this code appears, which can make the situation feel more serious than it actually is. The most important part of this entire process is understanding what caused the failure in the first place. Catalytic converters rarely fail on their own. They are usually damaged by other problems in the engine. One of the most common causes is engine misfire. When a cylinder misfires, unburned fuel enters the exhaust system. That fuel ignites inside the converter, causing extreme heat. This can melt the internal honeycomb structure, permanently damaging the converter and restricting airflow. Another common cause is oil consumption. If your engine is burning oil, that oil gets into the exhaust and coats the catalyst surface, reducing its effectiveness. Over time, this buildup prevents the chemical reactions from happening properly. Coolant leaks can have a similar effect. If coolant enters the combustion chamber and burns, it leaves behind deposits that damage the converter. Exhaust leaks are another major factor that is often overlooked. Even a small leak before the sensors can allow outside air to enter the exhaust system. This extra oxygen can confuse the sensors and make it appear as though the converter is not working correctly, even if it is. This is why a thorough inspection of the exhaust system is essential before replacing any parts. If this is already helping you see the difference between symptoms and real causes, go ahead and hit that like button. It tells YouTube to push this to more drivers who are about to make the same expensive mistake. When it comes to diagnosing P0430 properly, you need to go beyond just reading the code. Start by checking fuel trims. These values tell you how much the engine is adjusting the fuel mixture. If the numbers are too high or too low, it indicates that something is wrong with how the engine is running. Next, observe the sensor data. Compare the upstream and downstream signals to see if they behave as expected. You should also inspect the exhaust system for leaks, check the condition of the engine, and look for any signs of misfire or oil consumption. If you have access to a more advanced scan tool, you can check Mode 6 data, which provides detailed information about the catalyst's performance. Physical tests like back pressure testing and temperature checks can also help confirm whether the converter is clogged or inactive. Once you've confirmed the issue, you can decide on the best solution. In some cases, the problem may be resolved with a software update, as Toyota has released updates for certain models where the system was too sensitive. In other cases, cleaning products might help if the converter is only slightly affected, but this is usually a temporary fix. If the converter is physically damaged or heavily contaminated, replacement is the only real solution. When replacing the converter, quality matters. Original equipment parts are more expensive, but they are designed to meet the exact requirements of the vehicle. Cheaper aftermarket options may not perform as well and can sometimes trigger the same code again. A used original converter from a low-mileage vehicle can be a good compromise if you're trying to save money without sacrificing quality. After the repair, you need to complete a proper drive cycle so the system can retest itself. This usually involves driving at steady speeds, allowing the engine to warm up fully, and performing a mix of acceleration and deceleration. Once the system completes its checks and all monitors are ready, you'll know whether the issue has been successfully resolved. At the end of the day, P0430 is not just a simple fault code. It's a signal that something in your engine system needs attention. If you take the time to diagnose it correctly and address the root cause, you can avoid unnecessary expenses and keep your vehicle running smoothly for a long time. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Auto VFix and turn on notifications, because the next video breaks down another problem most drivers misdiagnose, and it could save you even more money.